Non-alcoholic apple cider. This is going to be my review of New Japan Pro Wrestling's Power Struggle. And let's get to it, because this was a damn good PPV, if I do say so myself. This was, I believe it was, what was it, Saturday night, the 12th? Yeah, same night as UFC. This is 6,000 fans in Osaka, which 9 times out of 10 is going to be going to make a great atmosphere, even if the card isn't, the strongest. But it was very strong. So let's get to it. First off, we get this snazzy video package showing all of the top feuds, which is what was it? I think 5 title matches, and yeah, obviously this is a big show, and the video package proved that despite not being a billion-dollar corporation, New Japan still does the best video packages. The only reason why we don't talk about them all the time is because it's Japanese instead of English. But they look so much better. To make you care without even understanding the whole thing. It's good. Alright, our opener was Jado and Gedo versus Tamon, Tonga and Killer Rabbit. Tonga and Rabbit both wore the rabbit mask. Yeah. Apparently, in his own words, Gedo said, "I fucking love it." So he said it, not me. That was pretty cool. I don't know. This match was it was cute. It was enjoyable, I guess, but it wasn't like, no one's gonna give it a score. If anyone says like this is if anyone gives this any kind of a star rating or a percentage rating, they're dumb. It wasn't really something you could score. It was short. It wasn't too long, and yeah, Gedo and Jado just, they play good villains, and Killer Rabbit wasn't unbearable because he did a couple of goofy things and he was harmless and got his ass kicked. It was good. Post match, however, Jado and Gedo removed both rabbit masks. And I don't know, Killer Rabbit without his mask looks kind of familiar. Alright, Inoue, Wataru, and Honma Tomaki versus Iizuka, Takashi, and Hideo Saito. Honestly, I forgot that I had watched this match. I read it a little earlier because I had them listed and everything. And, yeah, shocking turn of events in this match. Shocking. Iizuka attacked the skinny commentator guy, and the match started in an outside brawl. We haven't seen that 1,900 times. I can't really describe this match other than saying it's a typical 2011 Hideo Saito match, aka it completely blew balls. Either they're turning Saito face slowly, or they have no idea what they're doing and they're just completely wasting everyone's time. Either way, I just don't know why this was on the card. It's like they paid the guys for the night. They're like, ah, shit, we better put them on a show. Can't be like WCW. Can't pay them for nothing. I don't know. Then we had a huge shocker of a match. Third match of the night, Nagata Yuji versus Ishii Tomohiro. This was just beautiful, beautiful violence. I was just awed by this match. It was that good. You thought it was going to be kind of your run-of-the-mill match. It started pretty intense, forearm exchanges. Then it got into kicks and huge chops. You could see the fingerprints of Nagata on Ishii's chest. Or not Ishii's chest. I mean, you could see Ishii's fingerprints, on Nagata's chest. Like, you could see the finger marks on his chest. Like, detail. It's like imprinted in there, like a footstep on a moon. Yeah, this just turned into a fight, and you had the high kicks, and you had Ishii was throwing headbutts at one point, and Nagata threw in a quicker headbutt while Ishii was coming in with kind of a slower one, and obviously that just busted Ishii just right up. There was blood, there was head drops, stiff lariats. This was, yeah, lariats, high kicks, and head drops. Oh my! This match was great, and it's I've got a damn near 4 stars, and I'm not the only one who thinks this is a great match. 79%, just violent, but good violent. Just a little blood. It's not probably concussion or anything. All right, then we had Takayama Yoshihiro and Taichi versus Makabe Togi and Taguchi Ryusuke. I was actually surprised by how much I liked this match. Makabe and Takayama have no love lost. These guys hate each other, and it showed. This match, unquestionably, one-on-one. These guys have to take each other on. This match was, I don't know, Takayama and Taichi really cut the ring in half and isolated Taguchi for a while. And then when Makabe got in, he just tore his shit up. And yeah, he was running through those guys like a tornado through a trailer park, to use an old cliche. This is just a really good match with a strong ending. 59%, which is like just under 3 stars. It's pretty strong for just a tag match with no build. Alright, then we had the IWGP Junior Heavyweight Tag Team Championships. Davey Richards and Rocky Romero, No Remorse Corps, who come out looking like male strippers. No offense to Rocky, who used to be a male stripper. And they were going against the challengers, Kushida and Tiger Mask 4. Yeah, Tiger Mask brought out a little kid, a mini tiger. He had a mask and cape and everything. It's kind of weird. He brought out the little mask and everything, and he ends up being violent, like really violent. And yeah, Richards and Romero just paid him forward for like 5 times the violence. And I don't know, this match had really good counters and good wrestling. It was probably about 12 minutes long, and that's all it needed. Romero and Richards looked pretty crisp, and yeah, I just wish Davey was like this in ROH and not the Davey who spams moves like you wouldn't believe. You know, the same guy that hits 65 moves in 30 minutes, doesn't sell for more than 5 minutes combined, and you know, Davey's not like that in Japan. He wrestles. Alright, then we had IWGP Junior Heavyweight Championship. Prince Devitt, the champion, versus the challenger, Taka Michinoku, motherfucker. This proved that less is more. This match went, what, I think it was like 13 minutes. You know, it started out with a mat-based chess match. You get the wrestling stuff. Taka definitely controlled the early portion, proving that, well, he's older and not as quite as athletic anymore. He can still outsmart the young man. And Taka just used his veteran instinct, went at it. When Devitt finally did come back, the crowd came unglued. Taka gained back the advantage faster than you would think, and it switched a couple times, and it was back and forth, and it got suspenseful, and there was at least one near fall where I'm like, oh! You know, like Joe Rogan when he sees a knockout. Excellent match, under 15 minutes, proving that you can have no filler, all killer, and do a great match in around the 10-minute mark. And a title match. Yeah, this is just great. 81%. 81%. See, matches don't have to go 20 minutes or longer. You know, some do, but a junior match, what reason could a match that has like pretty much non-stop high-impact offense, what reason could that need to be 20 minutes? Just saying. Alright, special tag match. Naito, Tetsuya, and MVP versus Nakamura, Shinsuke, and Takahashi, Yujiro, Tokyo Pimps. Yeah, this was just a good match, I guess. It was a good tag match. Nakamura and Naito's hate for each other definitely made this match more interesting, and I'm expecting a good singles match there. But this match on its own was it was pretty good. It was about 3 stars. 60%, yeah. Alright, then we got a match that I haven't heard anyone else talk about too much, but I hope they do. Special singles match. Tenzan Hiroshi versus Kojima Satoshi. 80%, 4 stars. Just the atmosphere of this match was electric. You could cut it with a knife, like Gorilla used to say. There's just a metric ton of like hatred between Kojima and Tenzan for Tenzan, inadvertently injuring the eye, and then Tenzan went after the eye in this match, and Kojima basically took out the rule book, thumbed through it, and he went, how can I bend every single rule in here without breaking it? And it intensified, and we had great moves and near falls that mattered, and just all in all, this turned into a great match. These guys, although they're at a more advanced age, at least in wrestling-wise, they continue to prove that they still have it. Not like Sting, where people are like, you still got it, and Sting can barely do a DDT without collapsing, I'm just saying. I say that too much. IWGP Intercontinental Championship match. Tanaka Masato, the champion, versus challenger Goto Hirooki. Probably 65%. This was a sprint. This match wasn't even 10 minutes, I don't think. I mean, it might have just been 10. There's just no denying how cool this match is if you watched it. Some people will probably give it a higher rating. I liked it. I personally think, 3 1/4, 3.5 stars is pretty good. That's just me. That's how I do it. Which it's not exactly. I've kind of rated a little in the middle there. All right, IWGP Heavyweight Tag Team Championships, the co-main event, if you will. The Machine Gun, Karl Anderson, and Giant Bernard, Bad Intentions, the champions, versus Suzuki Minoru and Lance Archer, Suzuki Goon, also known as Suzuki Army, if you're, using English. This match is about 62%. We had the badass stare down between Bernard and Archer early on, which almost made me shoot my pants like a 14-year-old with a fake ID at a strip club. It was pretty cool. I mean, I'm not always a big fan of the big guys, but when the big guys fight the big guys, it's usually pretty badass. They're running into each other at lariats, and then you thought, like, oh, that's cool. They could have a feud there. Then Suzuki and Bernard got into it on the outside. Bernard was going to do his last ride variation, powerbomb, and Suzuki climbed behind him and wrapped his legs around him, got him in the body triangle, and put him in the choke sleeper. Bernard was out. Suzuki held on like very long, excessively long, probably like 90 seconds. Bernard's completely passed out, and then that leaves, unfortunately for Anderson, that leaves himself alone for about, I don't know, at least 5 minutes, getting the the piss beat out of him. I mean, he fought valiantly, but Suzuki Army is pretty, they're pretty formidable opponents. And once Bernard did wake up, it was kind of like Godzilla going through Tokyo. He was stomping motherfuckers, and he was hitting everything. And I hadn't seen this much passion from him in a while. I mean, this guy was going nuts. It's like a bear being woke up early from hibernation. And, yeah, just a great match. And at this point, basically, if you could find a way to bring Leonidas and his 300 back to face Bad Intentions, I'd bet the motherfucking ranch on Bad Intentions. Look at that badass. I mean, I don't see anyone beating them. I know, spoiler, whatever. No, everyone knows they're not going to lose. Not unless they're facing like someone ridiculous. I mean, they beat the champion and the #1 contender once, so not going to get those belts off them. They might retire with those. All right, then we had our main event with the match of the most build also. IWGP Heavyweight Championship, Tanahashi Hiroshi, the champion, versus the challenger, the YWGP champion, self-proclaimed, Yano Toru. I get this about 70%. Some would go a bit higher. There was a flaw in here that pissed me off. So, yeah. Some people may ask, how the hell did Yano get a title shot, a main event at a pay-per-view? Well, he's over as fuck, and he is Yano Toru, but also because he pinned Tanahashi in the G1. Not everyone saw that, but that was the match where the crowd completely turned against Tanahashi. Probably the same reason they turned against Cena in WWE, because he's being shoved down their throats. So, yeah, Yano had that. Not only that, after Tanahashi's last title match, Yano stole his belt. Took it, put a like a piece of tape and something or another, and he wrote Y over where the I would be, and he called it was the, I don't know, I guess it was the Yano was it World Grand Prix? I think it's something like, yeah. And yeah, that was kind of different, and he was carrying around the belt, attacking people with the briefcase it was in. Just really badass stuff. And Tanahashi uncharacteristically was pissed, and he came out, normal Tanahashi, slapping hands with the fans, posing. And before the introductions could start, Tanahashi went after Yano. This was a fight. Eventually, Yano went into his old bag of tricks, grabbed out a steel chair, not literally. He literally had a chair, he just didn't grab it out of the bag. Swings it at Tanahashi. Tanahashi drop kicks it into his kneecap. And then we have a little bit of a leg injury. But of course, Yano comes back because he's kind of got Tanahashi's number. Smacks his head into the ring post. Throws him into exposed turnbuckles. The whole deal. But Tanahashi eventually, like Anderson Silva, once he figures you out, once he gets your number, once he figures out what you're doing, you're done. It's game over. He went after that knee like a Shylock goes after someone who hasn't paid in 6 months. I mean, he really just went to work on that knee, and this match got really competitive near the end. And here's where my gripe lies. When Yano had Tanahashi pinned, Tanahashi's shoulders were clearly down, and the ref had to, avoid hitting the mat, and Tanahashi didn't really get his shoulder up. It's not like he couldn't. I don't know what that is. If it's laziness, if he's not that bright, if he had a concussion, I don't know. But that pissed me off. Still, at the end, the crowd was hot, and apparently they didn't see it, and yeah, it killed my momentum, but not the crowd's. The ending was good, and it wasn't your typical ending in the Tanahashi match. So, hey, you got to give it to them for that. 7.5 out of 10 for the show. It just could have had a stronger main event, co-main event. Although, still good matches. With a couple of great matches. Surprisingly, like earlier in the card, great matches. Alright, now I'll talk about something different. Chikara, High Noon. I have to review it because I actually love the show. And I gave Chikara a chance, and they got a non-fan on board. I certainly hope they put King of Trios up all 3 nights, because King of Trios has always delivered. Whether you're a fan of Chikara or not, you gotta admit that. Alright, the opener was the Colony of Soldier Ant and Fire Ant versus the Young Bucks. Basically, you need 3 wins to challenge, 3 points, 3 wins to challenge for the Chikara's tag titles, something Spanish. I don't know, some Mexican, some Spanish name. So they both had 2 wins apiece. If you lose, you go back to 0 wins and have to win 3 times again to get a shot. So yeah, the winner was going to get a tag title shot, guaranteed. And yeah, this was a good match, about 63%. Some of it got cut off in the middle for me, but still I enjoyed it. And yeah, that's that. Then we had Sarah Del Rey versus Jakob Hammermeyer. This is just a beautiful squash. If you don't like watching Hammermeyer get his face kicked in, you know, I can't help you. There's something wrong. That guy's the most annoying person in the world, next to Icarus, of course. Who fought Gregory Iron? I don't know, about 38%. It was a lot of bullying. Yeah. Then Gran Akuma came back. I skipped ahead of a match because I wanted to talk about this one after it. Green Ant versus Tursus. Green Ant's got this kind of almost a Lex Luger 93 gimmick where he came in and he slammed the man no one could slam, and he was the underdog. He was a new guy in the company, sort of, in a way. He's the rookie. And, yeah, just a really good match. Pretty intense stuff, pretty cool stuff. It was cool how Green Ant would do anything to win. 76%. All right, no DQ tag match. This was Ultraman is Black and Hollow Wicked versus Aries and Tim Donst. In this match, Ultramantis and Hollow Wicked had their masks on the line, and Aries and Donst had, well, Donst had his hair on the line, which isn't that nice to begin with. It's kind of like mine right now. And Aries had the Eye of Tyr on the line, which is basically a thing that controls Delirious, which, you know, keeps him in the BDK. Yep, this match was it was pretty violent. It was one of the best hardcore matches, maybe the best hardcore type match I've seen this year. Either that or Miz and Morrison, Falls Count. Yeah, it was probably the best. Falls Count anyway. Anyway, this match 75% for me. All right, then we had my second match of the night. It was basically a comedy match. Colt Boom Boom Cabana versus Archibald Peck, 78%. Brilliant match. You know, funny. They turned a comedic squash into almost a competitive wrestling match. It was fun to watch. It was a good match too. All right, then we had our main event for the Chikara World Grand Championship. Sorry, it's the first ever championship, 10 years in the making. Mike Quackenbush versus Eddie Kingston. 100% of the crowd. 100% of the crowd was Eddie Kingston. Basically, maybe 99.999, something, you know. This match is very emotional, and spoiler alert, I'm about to spoil the winner. Eddie Kingston won, and that's who I wanted to win. It was very emotional. He came in with, I don't know if it was real, but the way he sold it and the way he was talking, it had to be. You know, I think like a partial MCL tear, and basically he wrestled with one leg, and you know, great match, 82%. I can't explain how cool the post-match stuff was. One of the most emotional matches ever. Makes Eddie Edwards and Davey Richards look like a comedy match, you know. But you know, by emotional comparison. Anyway, Chikara's High Noon gets a 8.5 out of 10, which means it was better than the New Japan show. But hey, to each their own, I guess. Check out New Japan and Chikara because they're both doing very good right now, and so is All Japan, DDT. There's a lot of great companies. WWE put on an episode of Raw last night, which was, I don't know, about as fun as reading the entire Encyclopedia Britannica in a single sitting. Yeah, I don't know. It's one good tag match and a promo. Ooh. Anyway, enough bad nothing Raw because it's not worth talking about. Survivor Series looks good. Despite the shitty Raw build, I believe I'll get it. So look for a review on Sunday night, Monday morning, afternoon, you know, whatever. This has been a long video, so